What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Chop Sports. What are you doing over there, bro?
I don't know. It just got really silent and awkward.
We were just
like
getting
3 minutes before nobody has said a word.
We're in the mode. We're in game mode. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Chop Sports Daily, coming to you live from the Flipping Made Easy studio in Matawan, New Jersey. It is Sturch. It is Gooch. It is being produced by the Dina Simpson. She put the in there because there's so many Dina Simpsons out there, and she has to make sure she is the Dina Simpson.
Also, just Dina Simpson was taken.
Well, that's,
yeah.
I mean, multiple out there. But I hope everybody's doing well out there. Be sure to like the video if you're watching us live. Good morning to everybody in the chat right now. We appreciate you for watching. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the network. Picked up 1 subscriber last night. Look, these things are going to trickle or they're going to surge, right? So like, there's days where like people are just like sharing their asses off and they're just, making us famous for a minute. Or it's just a trickle effect. So if you're watching this, along with liking the video and along with subscribing to the channel, share it. Share the show. Tell your friends about us. Tell them if they're sports fans and they want to watch, high quality shit, they should come check us out, right? I mean, that's not like it's not a bold statement. I think that me and you give a more realistic approach to sports.
I like our show. And honestly, I've said this, people that watch the show typically watch almost every day. So there's a lot of our people are returning viewers.
Yeah.
I think that's a good indicator that there's some staying power. So keep on watching, keep on sharing it, and let people know, of course.
Definitely. So we appreciate that. A couple plugs to go around. Be sure to support Chop Sports. If you want to do that via Patreon, you can do that, patreon.com/Chop Sports. There's different levels. And honestly, that dynasty level may come into play very, very quick and very, very soon, because we got a lot of things going on, a lot of things that we started to talk to our new event planner yesterday. Ashmere Fit was in the house. We were talking to her about some really, really cool things we got going on. Last year, we actually did, we obviously did the opening party. It was the McGregor fight. We had a good time with that. That was at a bar. We feel like now, get us out in the open, fresh air. Let's do something else and something different. So there's details to follow on that. We're up to 190 members in the DAT chat thing. So you could go check out Dat Chat. Chop Sports Media has their own Facebook, or I keep saying call it a Facebook group because it technically is a group. So go check that. We're actually a featured channel on them. So shout out to my boy Glenn for hooking that up. Also, what else? Brand new podcasts that are available right now. The Chop Heads Combat Sports Podcast released today. Whether we get canceled or not is another story.
Look, that's not really that cancelable. There's
multiple things on that episode where I'm just like,
it's comedy, bro. It's not.
No, I get it. Listen, I've heard worse. Trust me, I've heard worse. And I'm just like, for me, being around that realm of pro wrestling, if you go dark, they look at you like, oh, you're an asshole. You know what I mean?
Think
like,
it was really that. I mean, I guess the Owen Hart
stuff. A lot of Owen Hart stuff in there, yeah. But in any event, go check it out. It's
so
me.
all my wrestling fans out there, I don't really care.
Your personal wrestling fans, yeah, they don't care. Actually, Mark hit us up last night, or no, this morning. He said it was a great episode. So guy likes it.
I actually had fun doing that episode. Sometimes I have to admit, which I talk about, by Monday, I'm like, oh my God, we got to do another recording right now.
Yeah.
But
we got to figure something out. I think it's
clicked.
all Tommy's fault, to be honest with you. If we're passing blame and he gets here at 5 o'clock. Are we really
trying to figure out whose fault it is? I think that's
it's
long been established.
Because if I could record that at like 2 when I'm still upright, and I'm good. Let's do it. Let's record. But when he strolls in here breathing his hot breath at 5 o'clock, like, oh,
bro,
let's go record.
If there's even one split second of downtime, all you hear is breathing.
Right.
I listened to the episode on my headphones.
Oh, it's him?
Yeah, it's just, I mean, I don't know who it is.
He's got awake apnea?
Yeah, basically.
Shout out. Stimmy OG, what up, dog? Hit the like button. Thank you. Appreciate that. So, yeah, Mark came in, said he enjoyed the episode, so thank you for that. So yesterday, All-Star, by the way, All-Star Vintage dropped another podcast today, another funny one. Go check out Mark Jameson and Dom Morrow as they have joined our network, and now 5 weeks ago. So they've got 5 episodes, or maybe like 4 weeks ago, and they launched like 2 in a week. Anyway, just go check those guys out. They're really good. ChopSportsMedia.com is the way to find all this stuff. And then obviously their personal socials, go follow them up as well. So yesterday we started talking about the Yankee tailgate. We tried to get some kind of a pulse of an interest of who would want to go with us to Yankees, White Sox, ESPN, Sunday Night Baseball. May the 22nd.
Is it a Sunday Night Baseball?
June the 22nd? May the 22nd.
I don't know if it's
It is
Sunday
Sunday
Night
Night Baseball. It is.
It is?
Yeah. It's also a MasterCard day. So it's all
But that's
mixed
why
into
I'm
one.
confused by that a little bit.
Why? Because they're like giving tickets away for Sunday Night Baseball. Well, I mean, look, there's a lot of people that came out and said, in, definitely in. Let's go. Let's rage. Like, great. There was one, my boy, Rich De Lusan came out and said, dude, people work on Monday. And I'm like, yeah, but I use the tailgate. I use the football as my thing. I'm like, guys, but you guys do go to Giants and Jets and all these local games, no matter what time they're being played, and you're going back to work the next day. So what the hell, So
yeah, I mean, look, just if you don't want to come because of work, then you get to miss out, and then enjoy all the social media posts that Dave's surely going to make that day.
I didn't really make, I think I dropped the ball at the Garden.
Yeah, well,
not as much as the Knicks did, but
my phone died.
Your
Before
phone
I
died
got on
early.
the train.
You're right.
And I charged it overnight. My phone's just broken. So,
yeah,
we'll stop saying the phone's dying. It's a broken phone. So
it
I
is
can't really
broken
use
phone.
it in public.
Broken
I have to be
phone.
attached to the wall.
So amazing. NJ, my boy Mike, is in the house as well. So thank you guys for watching. But yeah, we're trying to get the Chop Sports tailgate going on here. Last year, big success. This year could be bigger. 2 events already in the works. Somebody commented on our Yankee post yesterday on Facebook with a Mets player. So I was like, yes, that's coming too. Like, let us get the Yankee one out the way. Let's have a good time.
Well, look, we have a Mets podcast, and I think that it might be a better serve for maybe them to spearhead a little bit of that and get involved. So I wanted to talk to the Mets guys before I started promoting a Mets day. And look, we have some things coming up. So really, the Mets thing would have to be in July, realistically speaking.
So you'll have to melt. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, we go at an 8:00 game again, so you get to kind of tailgate. But Citi Field I think it's a better viewing experience than Yankee Stadium.
Actually, I talked to Toast last night, and I said, it's time to use those miles, bro. And he was already looking up flights. Like, Toast is going to fly in for this to watch the Yankees play the White Sox on a Sunday.
We'll get a little bit into the lockout talk soon. Hopefully, with the extendo that they just gave out.
Yeah, I mean, look, you'll get right into it, bro. I mean, this is where we're at. Again, we made a joke in pre about how many times we've used this graphic in particular because of all the times we're talking about updating the baseball talk, right? And the last thing that we read up from John Heyman, who is, by the way, one of the better writers, the guys, you have Jeff Passan, and now Bob Nightingale, MVP. I'll get into him in a second. But this is coming from Heyman. Quote, there's definitely hope heading into the deadline day 2. So that's where we're at. We're extending the deadline to today at 5:00 to get something hammered down, right? And yes, I'm going to use that for McAfee. Deadline day 2, but there is still a decent sized gap in the CBT threshold, which is now 220 million versus 230 million. And also real differences in the bonus pool, minimum salary, which is right now $675 to $700. So there's $25,000 difference there. Not big, not that big a deal. That could be worked out. And international draft. Very good progress yesterday, but a ways to go. See, I'm all for, the tweets and the live updates and shit, right?
Yeah.
And I said this yesterday. Like, until something's done, I don't really want to. I don't care about how close.
As you read that off, I'm like, okay, I literally read that verbatim. I want to say a month ago, literally word for word. So they keep saying, oh, a little bit closer, a little bit closer. They're really not much closer. Until they get a deal, they're as far apart as they've ever been, as far as I see it, because we don't know what's actually happening. It's all hearsay. And when you're dealing with a team with like one side of things where they control the narrative with the media, I'm talking about the owners and the actual league itself. The problem that I have with it is, they extend the deadline and they make it seem like they're doing everything they can to get us a season. That could just be wolf tickets. And I think it probably is. They came out the day before and said, we're willing to go a month of no baseball. That's where they're at with this.
Yeah.
And then because the public outcry was like, oh, you pieces of shit, then it's the next day. I have a very good feeling that after today's negotiations end without a deal, because let's be real, I don't think they're going to get a deal done. They will eventually, but not today. And the players are going to come out and say, yeah, don't believe that bullshit deadline they extended, because that was just for the public perception to think that the fans are actually going to get behind the owners because, well, they extended it. I don't buy any of this.
I was like live refreshing right before bed last night. I was like, let's get something. Something's got to give. Let's do something, right? And then I'm looking, and Bob Nightingale, who is famous last year for, are you writing down the bet?
I am. I'm writing down the bet because I think that should be something that, we're going to put out several times throughout the podcast, just so people could, or the show, I call it a podcast. What is this? Early 2021.
Yeah. What are you talking about? as I write down -3 Purdue on my sheet here. But yeah, so that Kyle, I got a feeling he's got a good feeling about this, and so is Rube. So I mean, that's 2, right? I mean,
And
2.
Toast can't wait for that game.
And Toast as well. So anyway, back to Bob Nightingale. So his famous tweet last year was that he put it out there, his whatever sources that he had, he said that Trevor Bauer had signed with the New York Mets, right? That was a done deal. It was inked to paper, done, right? Not done at all. He got flamed for it. Absolutely flamed for breaking that and being wrong. Last night, like a vigilante, using this in the right way, he was the GOAT. He was his pictures, his live tweeting. He had somebody on the inside where everything that happened last night, Bob Nightingale had it. And Jeff Passan yesterday, when he was going to bed saying, I only tweet when there's news. I don't sleep, blah, blah, blah. His last tweet of that thread was plus Bob rules. So there's finally starting to give this guy a little burn right now because Nightingale has been all over the lockout. And
so what did he do wrong last year? He did what every single person has been doing that. So really, let's think about how many guys have broken wrong news over the last 3 months about Aaron Rodgers alone. Okay.
Well, yeah, they're right. In any event. So the MLB is obviously they're far apart. They're doing their thing. Hopefully we get something because obviously we have that May 22nd date in our minds. You don't think so here's my theory, or at least my guess. If there is no deal today and they cancel games, do you think it's more likely that they're made up or that but they leave the schedule as is?
I think that the more likely they leave the schedule as is, because when it comes to a lockout and not it being affected by COVID, I think it's a good indicator as to where the owners stand when it comes to losing games was the negotiations they had over the shortened COVID season. The owners don't want more games. They just don't care. They don't need more games. Players want more games because they want to get those game checks back. I think that might be something that might be a hurdle at the very end of negotiations to be like, okay, so what are we going to do with the schedule if they do in fact miss games? I just don't think it is feasible with all these sales that have taken place with tickets already. You got Yankees already announced Paul O'Neill Day on 8/21. So it's just a bad look. Not that they're really worried about public perception at this point, but it's a bad look organizational wise for you to have to walk back on days like that. And what if now the schedule gets shifted and that's now an away game?
Right.
Are they going to make concessions for teams that have already set big days? Aside for their,
they might just have to go as
like as going to have to go as is.
So, but that does affect like things like
division matchup.
Yes, like how many times you were supposed to play the Red Sox. That might get delayed, or at least cut now. So it could work out in a favor. There's many issues I have with everything that's going on right now. Being that there's a floor or no floor for spending, which there should be.
I mean,
right?
I've been saying that for
that's showing you that the Pirates. The teams that don't give a shit, right? They're not going to spend the money, right? Because they're cheap. And that's what causes the upper echelon of teams and the shit teams.
I don't really have much of an issue. As far as the team spending money that they earn on their own, like their own revenue sales come in. But when there's the luxury tax and the revenue sharing and that whole aspect starts to get factored in, you could look at a hard number that Major League Baseball teams get because they haven't exceeded or they're under a certain threshold from other teams with revenue sharing.
Right.
If that number doesn't get directly put back into the team's whatever success, it could be player development, it could be whatever you want to call it, but they should have to show some checks and balances to where that money's going. If it's going to pay for, let's say, some billionaire daughter's owner, or you get what I'm getting at?
Yes,
like,
100%.
Getting her wedding paid off or something crazy.
Because technically you could spend it on whatever you want and nobody would know.
I think that it should be proven that it's been put into making the organization better, and a large portion
like
of that
revamp your stadium,
salaries,
something, you know, like somebody's stadium. Like, when's the last time you heard anything progressive on like a Pittsburgh Pirates? Like, they're not going to get a new stadium anytime soon, right? Like, then again, I don't know if they have a new stadium from their old one, but I'm just saying, like, there's not a lot of effort being put out from these teams. The one concession that they did agree on now, I believe, is official, that we're going to go 12 playoff team format, not 14. So that means the 3 division winners and 3 wild cards, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So that's where we're going to be at. I don't know where the hell we're getting that extra 7th team, I guess another wild card team or whatever. But that's the one thing I think they've agreed on now and is done and is like in the whatever PNC is gorgeous. Ken Paulman. Yeah, well, he's a Steeler guy. So I'm not worried.
It is a nice stadium.
You've been to the Pittsburgh Pirates Stadium?
I've never been in there for a baseball game, but I've been in Pittsburgh, and it's a nice stadium. And Pittsburgh, that's one of the places I think is one of those places like Kansas City. You know, there's some low budget teams that have some nice ballparks, and I don't think that fixing their stadium is much of the issue, but maybe they could improve things for the guys that they pretty much do pay, which is the low minors. You know, like that's where they should be putting their money.
And that's another.
Look what the Rays do. The Rays do it right. They put a lot of money into player development, and
that's another thing. There will be no delay in any of the minor league baseball. So that will start right on time. No delays there. They're not part of the collective bargaining agreement. They're on their own.
But there is some issues that are being talked about with minor league baseball where they're pretty much talking about just disbanding certain leagues and cutting the player pool in half. I wouldn't say in half, but by about a third. So if you're a major league baseball player that's playing in the low minors, you might be not anymore. You may no longer be a major league baseball player. And I know that has a big, there's a lot of financial ramifications there as well, because, you know, when you're talking about 30 guys added up, they're arguing about 25,000. You know, you got 30 guys that might be out of
Manfred
job
must be just laughing,
roster,
just giggling at this point. Like people are arguing over $25,000. Like, can we meet in the middle? You know, like, is it that hard? Like, we're not arbitrators. We have no skin in the game. Why don't they just meet in the middle? I don't know. I digress with that. It's just absolutely atrocious. But speaking of being cheap, before we get there, I do have to tell you that support for the Chop Sports Daily is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped recently launched the ultimate men's hygiene bundle, the Performance Package 4.0. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off right now, free shipping. Just use the code CHOPSPORTS. In this Performance Package, by the way, there's a whole bunch of stuff. You get a plethora of grooming tools for your members, right? You got to keep the members fresh because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Inside the package, you're going to get the Lawnmower 4.0. That's going to do all the justice that you need to do. All right. And then by far, I think it's the greatest trimmer of all time, but I digress. I've tried a bunch. I've actually tried one that I was up in the middle of the night and I saw a commercial and it's like German engineered. And I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be amazing. And I ordered it and I just tried it like you did on your arm. And it was like, and it just jammed up, locked up, and broke. I was like, great, glad I got this German piece of shit. So this is better than that. So get over there. 400K LED. That means you can shave in the dark in case you lose power. Waterproof, for crying out loud. I just keep, I put that in the read, so I always say it now, just kind of beat that dead horse. It's waterproof, so no more mess in the bathroom floor, so you don't have to have anybody clean it up or clean it up yourself. Also comes with the Weed Whacker ear and nose trimmer, which, by the way, yesterday saw a straggler out my own nostril, and I was like, good thing I have the Weed Whacker. Bang, done. I don't have to pull it out and get teary-eyed. You know what I'm saying? I could just get it done.
It's like, no, you go to pull it out, and they're like, no. What do you look? Davey's picking his nose. They're like, no, I got a nose hair, and it's like, okay, what's the difference? You're still picking your nose.
Correct. That's why I get the Weed Whacker, and I won't pick my nose.
I had to pick a nose hair out of Ashley's nose on the train
disgusting.
The other day, but I never got it, so it's probably still there.
It's still there, just blowing like a party favor. All right. Well, the Crop Preserver and Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver are exactly what they sound like. Your balls are tucked in there all day. Do yourself a favor. Do them a favor. Preserve them right now. Your balls will thank you. So, yes, 20% off right now. Manscaped.com. Free worldwide shipping. Use the code CHOPSPORTS right now at Manscaped.com. So, speaking of cheap, the Marlins are cheap because what the Marlins did were they what? No, yeah, cheap. That's bad.
Yeah,
it's
good
bad.
Transition.
So Jeter steps down yesterday. That was the news that broke during the show, but more details. Remember, right away, my knee-jerk reaction was, shit, this is a scandal with Jeter. He's in trouble. I shut that down. You shut that down quick, but I was like, oh boy. Now, like, what's going to happen here? So apparently, what I read is that the Marlins promised him $15 million more in spending coming up. Like, guess what, Jeets? When we open the doors to this whole thing,
I'm going to pull up the other one.
You're going to get $15 million more to spend. And now, because of the lockout, they said, hey, Jeets, we're not going to give you that money. So then Jeter said, and we quote, the vision for the future of the franchise is different than one I signed up to lead. That's from Derek Jeter from CBS Sports. Now, Straight up, you cannot cheap out Jeet. He's out. He's like, I'm done with this. So now you have to respect this guy. MLB players came out in unison and said, yeah, Jeets. Because it's like the Marlins were basically like, look, we're good finishing third, fourth in the division every year. We're fine. Everything's going to be fine. We got Derek effing Jeter as our figurehead, right? And Jeter's like, that's funny. Hold my beer. I felt offended, whatever. I took that personal, and I'm out. So now Derek Jeter out of the Marlins. Where does Derek Jeter go next, Gooch? Tell me.
ESPN.
ESPN apparently.
I don't think Derek Jeter's going to go on TV or the Yankees.
He's not a personality. He's not. He's not a TV personality.
I think Derek Jeter's just going to kind of stick to the Players Tribune. He might look to buy into another franchise, maybe one that is willing to spend some money. But I just don't. I don't envision Derek Jeter being anything to do with the Yankees front office. I hope not, unless it's some figurehead position. But I just don't want him to be in a position of importance, because the same reason why I don't want Don Mattingly to come back and manage the Yankees, because if you don't do well on that role, then it kind of strains the relationship you have with the fan base.
It's Jeter,
right now,
though.
Just leave it the way it is.
It is Jeter, though.
I understand, and it's Don Mattingly. But if Don Mattingly went and the Yankees missed the playoffs 4 years in a row under his
question, and this is good for the fans too who are watching and listening on a podcast forum, you could say it in your car. Who's the more popular Yankee of all time, Derek Jeter or Don Mattingly?
Stop. That's not even close. It's not even remotely close.
Notice how he has not given an answer.
It's Derek Jeter, and it's not close.
Okay, it's not close.
Yeah, Don Mattingly's not even near second. There's probably guys that, like Mariano, is probably more popular than Mattingly.
I mean, in a time where the Yankees had nothing, remember, there was no World Series when Don Mattingly was playing. You had to latch on to something. And Donnie Baseballs was the guy. You had to
latch on to it, but the thing about it is Don Mattingly didn't win. And I'm not saying that's necessarily his fault. You could blame the first lockout or the strike that they had back in '94 or whatever, possibly Mattingly not ever getting a win. But yeah, it's not close. Yankee popularity, come on, bro. Mickey Mantle's more popular than Mattingly.
Chris Payne coming in with a quote. Now they call me the Yankee Clipper. You shot Derek Jeter. He's a biracial angel. That is definitely from the other guys, right? Yes. Aim for the bushes, Payne. There goes my hero. That's such a great movie. Yeah, that's my first desk pop. But yeah, so Jeter, see, now Hawaii might say depending on the generation. So like the older folk, right? Like maybe 65, 70 years old might say Don Mattingly was the greatest baseball player ever lived.
So here's the thing. It's like, all right, I don't want to. I always sound morbid when I say this. But
no, I'm saying, listen, I know that
there's not
the
a Mattingly
brand,
there's
of
not
Jeter.
a Mattingly fan or a Mantle fan that's not also a big Derek Jeter fan. So it's like you could say the generation, but if you asked my father, right, he'd probably say my favorite Yankee of all time is Mickey Mantle, right? If you asked him second,
same with my father-in-law, same thing.
If you asked him second, he's going to say Derek Jeter. Okay, right? He's not going to say Don Mattingly. He spanned all the generations, except for the ones that are,
Kyle's
Joe
got his own
DiMaggio.
show going on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, this is like off the rails over here to the chat. Kyle is completely hijacked the chat. You can get rid of Jeter for now, and we can go back to Kyle and see this 2-part question. You can bring it up. 2-part question here: who wins AL Cy Young? B, why did you pick Casey Mize? Who the hell's Casey Mize?
I
think that's Kyle.
His...
Do you not understand the way things work on
these
the approach? Picture that being a meme or something, and it's like that's clearly him saying Casey Mize is going to win the Cy Young at plus 4,000.
Okay. I also tried to follow. You didn't. I didn't see there's red receipts in the chat, like in the group chat, dude. Kyle and Scoop, they're gonna go to blows eventually. It's gonna happen, and I'm here for it. They went at each other again last night for literally an hour and a half. I left.
I'm so glad I didn't fucking see anything.
You're not even in it anymore.
But what do you think is going to happen?
You came back?
What do you think is going to happen when you're trying to play the net and I blow one past you, right? And tennis, and then you got Kyle and Scoop fighting over whose ball.
I'm
you guys are
dead. Now I'm losing faith in my compadres because they hate each other.
Toast, you baseball guy, you got to know who Casey Mize is.
Yeah. For Toast to say that? For Toast to say that, I feel better about saying who's Casey Mize.
There's a reason why he's plus 4,000
to win the Cy Young. So he must be somebody's fourth. He must be somebody's fourth starter.
Plus 4,000 preseason is fairly decent, considering he doesn't have much experience in the majors, but he's definitely legit.
Where does he pitch?
I'm gonna say he's on the Tigers.
Where does he pitch, Dina? I need to know this.
All right.
Oh, I know.
Toast is
I
joking.
was
He
gonna
loves
say, that's
Casey
what
Mize.
I get weird, obscure.
You can't trust anything
college
Kyle says when he
baseball
says he
posts.
loves somebody. Casey Mize, pitcher
Where?
for the Detroit Tigers.
Oh, Gooch is on his game today, ladies and gentlemen. Oh boy, he actually hit a couple things last night, as a matter of fact, in the Chop Heads Combat Sports with a couple of the over-unders on match totals, by the way. And we also took a deep dive into Destruction's wrestling career. I'm sure Payne will love that one.
I gotta start sitting in on those.
Yes, well, it recorded late, so you were
Yeah.
gone already. So, that's no fault to you. That's all fault to Tommy.
Also, guys,
Thanks,
Purdue
Tommy.
-3 tonight.
Yes.
Purdue -3 tonight.
Alert. Purdue -3
As
tonight
per-
against
as per-
Wisconsin.
I want to say all
At
the
Wisconsin.
all the sharps in here are on Purdue -3.
He's a former overall #1 pick.
Yeah.
All right. I was saying that because Dave didn't know. All right. Well, I'm sorry, guys. Like, shit. I'm a
Put that on Dave.
Yankee
So, but
baseball
my
fan.
point
That's
being
why
is
fantasy
plus
baseball is going to be so
4,000
good for me.
Plus 4,000 preseason Cy Young odds. That's pretty good for a guy at his age. And nobody, you're just trying to get people to make the bet, right?
Well, it's funny. And no, Mike, we did not talk about Cain Velasquez. I forgot to bring that up in the open. I'll get that in a second. But I want to say it's funny. Kyle comes. If you don't know who he is now, you'll all come summer when he's 9-1 with a sub-2 ERA.
There's going to come a point where, I always have this issue because I become very, very aware of all these sleepers in baseball. But now that I have this platform to talk and everybody that is in my league watches this show, it's like I might have to start.
You might have to
some
fade
fucking-
yourself or
No,
start
I'm
like
just gonna
throwing wolf
some
tickets.
bullshit out there. It's
Yeah.
like, hey guys, I really think DeGrom's healthy this year. I think he's going to be real good.
He's
You could
gonna be
probably
real
get
good.
him in a Shohei Ohtani type situation because he'd probably be DHing a lot because the Mets have no lineup.
The way I'm going into our draft is like I'm gonna wear earplugs. I'm not listening to a single word any of you say to me.
That's good. Then you'll draft the
'Cause you're
shittiest team.
No, I'm gonna get other sources.
Ooh,
Once the
she's
draft
got
is
sources.
once
She's
the
got
draft
sources.
is going on, I'm very silent and
Assassin.
I just don't want to name dropping during a draft. You should get slapped for that.
I hate that.
You should get
Mhm.
slapped.
That should be a round penalty. Like you lose
No,
your
you
pick in
get-
that
you get-
round.
the
No,
penalty.
are you talking about like? All right, I'm
the
using
penalty
football as a
is-
reference.
The penalty is I'm going to stand up and I'm going to slap you across.
No,
your
but I'm
face.
saying like, are you just so I know what the reference is? Like, if like it's the fourth round and
And you're
somebody's
like,
like,
I can't
Calvin Ridley's still
You're
available.
like, I can't believe, or like just loosely, not even like helping the person, just like, oh my god, I can't believe Ridley's still here.
Yeah.
Like, really, bro?
Yeah, I don't
See,
like
those
that
are the
either.
things I'm watching.
So
out
you're
for.
actually at all right. So a violent slap. is
I
the
was
penalty.
waiting for somebody to pick up on my subtle dig. There you go, Ken.
Dina, if you draft Casey Miles, you leave the building to find yourself. Chris Payne, attempted murder charge, no
Yeah.
bond. Wow. All right. So
Yeah,
Cain
so-
Velasquez, that's broke. I was at
Originally,
the
I was
gym
like,
this
I don't
morning.
want to talk about it because I'm imagining Kane was like defending himself, but because he's a celebrity and they want to get all their ducks in a row, that they're going to arrest Kane.
Or the latter.
or
He just straight up gangstered somebody.
So Tommy D with the quote of the day on Facebook, he's like, we have below sea level Kane, and now we have El Barrio Kane because he is not going to make it, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, he shot somebody. He attempted to murder them.
Breaking news.
And I don't want to, like, it's not
Pom.
funny. Obviously, there's someone got shot, but it's non-life threatening injuries, even though he tried to kill them.
Yeah, we'll see. Chris will have powder ready. I don't know what that means, but
Give me some powder.
oh.
You don't know that? Come on, bro.
Dude,
Give me some powder.
What is that?
That's a pimp
Chappelle?
smack. It might be the Chappelle, but it also might be I want to say
Have you seen those fucking things?
Starsky and Hutch, possibly because
Have
they
you,
have
Huggy Bear?
yeah. maybe,
Okay.
yeah.
Have you seen those
terrarium?
Those
It's an artificial habitat for great scene.
Have you seen those slap things? Those competitions? Have you seen any of
I
those,
love them,
bro?
bro.
Who
There's
in
two
the
things that-
right mind
that
signs up for that
There's
shit?
two things that I've watched way too many hours of on YouTube, and I will say it's arm wrestling and slap boxing or slap fest.
Watching arm wrestling terrifies me. I always feel like
Bro,
I see a bone
they line
snapped.
up. I'll just go back. He's like, and then just fucking
Bro.
and they're
Bro,
gone.
Bro, there's a
Okay.
few legends, pillars we'll call them of
dude.
the slap box.
You have
game.
you have to have legitimate screws.
I'll
loose.
give you one guess as to where they're all from.
Triller.
Russia.
Oh,
Fucking Russia. Or the former Soviet Union, whichever you want to call it. We're not really
yes.
quite sure.
Who
where
else is
they're
fighting out
actually
there?
from.
Is it? And didn't somebody else pop up back there? The Klitschko brothers. There's a bunch of people out there, right?
I did mention this on the
Okay,
podcast
barbecue.
yesterday. Like, there's several guys on the UFC card.
Wait, talk about Scoop said it's going to be at the barbecue. We're gonna home run derby over to the left, and if you want to get in the slap championships, it's over here.
I think I might MC that one. MC that one. Right?
Wait, that means I have to be involved.
You're actually a competitor. You're gonna be that. You'll win the women's division at least, right? I mean, it's just gonna be you and Ashley be like, I'm not in this, so shut up, and then bang.
I would never hit Ashley.
Oh, I'm not rooting for it. I think that'd be hilarious.
Wait, did I miss somebody? Did you just we're gonna get Ashley beat up? Is that what's
No,
happening?
no, I'm saying
See what you did?
being that you're the MC
I think Ashley could hold her own for a narrow.
for a lightway or no,
Yeah,
she would be a featherweight,
But
strawweight.
Yeah, I think
uh,
I'm in a little bit of a different weight class than her.
But yeah,
You
Ashley's got
fucking
some.
killed her.
I can't really. We're gonna talk about me trying to wrangle Ashley because it's like it's going off the deep end.
Pause. All right. Anyway, so that's don't
I
slap
did say
box.
wrangle Ashley, by the way. The fuck is that?
That's what I tried to tell you on the way down here. I was listening to Boomer and Gio on the way down, and and Boomer was talking about a time he went somewhere or whatever, and he's like, and I went in there and there was a guy and a gal, and I was like, oh my god, am I
You're
60
Boomer.
years old?
Oh, you did something the other day too. It was like I had a bad day today. He was like, so go give the YouTube page an good old follow. It's like an old follow.
No,
Is that, like,
Ashley, we were talking
the
about
fuck,
a
bro?
slapping competition, and it's
Shit,
not
yeah.
happening.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we were talking about the Hot 97 Slap Fest, but we're gonna have that at a Chop Sports BQ.
It's going to be details to follow, ladies and gentlemen. There will be a tournament bracket. Speaking of tournament brackets, before we get into NFL stuff, I do want to shout out Paz. He got seeded yesterday, right?
Yeah, the Big Ten tournament comes up this weekend. Paz the 7th seed. I think it's a little bit of a disrespect. To
How
Paz.
many people in this thing?
Well, it's the entire conference, so it's like 14 guys. I
So
think.
he's right in the middle of the pack. Is right now.
Yeah,
At his weight class.
I mean, like,
he's
when
middle
you
of
look
the
at the
pack.
guys above Paz, I would say that even though
Did he
has
lose to a couple of them already?
He did. But look,
So it's revenge
Paz
season,
had
baby.
a little bit of a hiccup. But look, I know for a fact that Paz was dealing with some things, going back issues throughout the season. I don't know if he's disclosing that to other people, but I'm gonna. Paz had some
breaking
issues.
news, everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Paz had some back issues, and I'm pretty sure everybody knew that he was missing some time.
You couldn't tell if you looked at his workouts.
Yeah,
this day.
but training and competing with a back issue. I mean,
Oh,
I'm barely
Curtis
able to
doing
do this
that.
show right now. If you could see, like, I've been complaining all morning about how shitty my back feels.
But
Right
yet, also 20 minutes before that, you said it looks like a tennis day.
now. I mean, it's 50 degrees today,
Oh,
so I'm probably gonna go get beat by Joe in tennis. But
my God.
yeah,
Scoop
7th seed. I think it's a little disrespectful, and I'm sure he feels the same way. But
So
like
let's
that
Jordan
fire-
that up.
Yeah,
I took that personally.
I feel like
and win the whole
I think the
goddamn thing.
highest seed at a Rutgers was 3, but he's also pretty much going to get the 3 seed in the national tournament because the Big Ten is pretty much,
Where
all stops there in
do you
wrestling.
when do you get declared as an All-American? Not yet, right?
no, you got to
That's the national
you got to
tournament?
qualify for the national tournament and finish in the top 8.
Okay, so how do you qualify for the national tournament? Win the Big Ten?
You finish in the top. I want to say the top 5 or top 4. You got to place in the Big Tens.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So step 1, phase 1 coming up this weekend. So Paz, we're behind
Very
you, bro.
similar. I think he's in a very similar situation going into the Big Ten tournament that he was last year. He had to, wrestle some guys that he might have lost to throughout the year, but it all worked
Revenge
out. And
season,
look,
baby.
I
Let's
think that
go.
when we're talking dual meets in wrestling, there's certain guys that they perform well when they have one match that day. And then there's certain guys that perform and they rise to the occasion when it comes to tournaments. And if you look at the history of John Paz wrestling, outstanding wrestler at the state tournament in his senior year. Last year he showed out in both Big Ten and the Nationals.
Yeah.
So let's go, baby. It's tournament
time.
season.
It's time.
I will wish good luck to the rest of the guys on the Rutgers wrestling
Obviously.
team. Mike Van
Obviously.
Brill, Greg Bolsack. We've had conversation with Greg trying to get a support t-shirt out. Unfortunately, it's his senior year, so it won't be able to go forward after this season. But all these guys on the Rutgers wrestling team, or at least a few of them, we've kind of grown close with. And good luck to all these guys. It's fun watching them.
I know you talked to me earlier about like, oh, it's a little late for these shirts, right? Like their merchandise. But if these guys both do well in their respective Big Ten tournaments,
Yeah, of course.
we'll carry on over to the
That's what I'm saying.
Nationals.
I don't want to not make the shirt on the strength that it's like
No, they're
because
both
they're
going to
both
dominate.
advance. I think it's the writing is on the wall.
You hear that? They're going to dominate.
Going to dominate.
That's what
That
it's all
I
about.
believe.
That,
That I believe.
yeah. Oh, you don't believe anytime?
I mean,
Gooch says it?
there's some, don't get me wrong. Look, there's some formidable guys out in these weight classes.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
legit. It's legit.
No, of course.
Following wrestling more than I have in the past this year, and
Of course, we got
I'm
our
excited
boy.
about it.
All right. 50
Scoop and
degrees.
Kyle were going at it in the
Hawaii.
comments again.
Hawaii, what?
Scoop and Kyle were going back at it in the comments.
It's like it's a blood feud all of a sudden. It's all right. You guys can be in the rough and rowdy. It'll be right after Dina versus Ashley in the slap boxing contest. Kidding. Ashley, you never get slapped. Don't worry. You got plenty of you got the muscle behind you, and we're talking about me, not Gooch. Just kidding.
Oh, so you wouldn't even you put me in a fight and don't even take my side?
No, I just wouldn't let Ashley fight. Like I personally would be like, that's not a good idea. So, anyways, she can plan. She can plan the event, just not fight in the event. That's all. Perfect. Done.
Should be a ring girl.
I love
There
you,
you go.
Ashley.
Hold up the cards. Right. Done. Easily done. All right. Before we get to our last topic of the day, Dina, you got something for Lilac Sage Boutique.
I sure do. Ladies and gentlemen, Lilac and Sage Boutique is a veteran-owned LEO spouse-operated boutique. Sorry,
Try
why
again.
the word wasn't coming to me.
Oh, good.
Based out of North Carolina.
Carolina. Sorry.
Ugh.
You had to cut you off there.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Their goal is to continue their service by providing affordable clothing to other hardworking women. They ship orders all over the world. Be sure to check them out at lilacsageboutique.com and join their mailing list so you don't miss out on any new arrivals. Use the promo code SHOP10,
There you go.
to receive 10% off your purchase. Still
Li-
recovering from this weekend. I think.
LilacSageBoutique.com, 10% off, chop 10 at the old checkout. The old checkout, right, Coach? See, you're not even paying attention this time.
I'm
So-
reading the comments.
Why?
At the old checkout.
Why? What's the comments about
I
now?
don't
I mean,
know,
for the
I'm
love of
seeing-
God.
Just you're doing a read. That's my time.
It's
to,
annoying when you get a call and then you're commenting on 10 minutes later after they happen. Yeah, that's senior, right?
No, that's my brother. You could tell by the purple C. My dad's got a green one. I don't know why I know that.
Questionable call, like young Carl with the purple.
So Scoop's got a
Just kidding.
March
I don't know that
Madness
you pick
box
that.
pool
I
he's
think
gonna
it just gets
post.
It
issued.
just
by-
gets
yeah.
issued by YouTube. What'd you say now?
Scoop's
Oh, Scoop, for the love of God. You're right. I saw this already. So he's dropping the biggest Chop Sports pool ever. It's going down right now. He's going to post it probably right after the show, if not already right this second. It's going to be a tournament-long box pool, really. That's what it is, right? Every single game.
Yeah, I want to talk to Scoop because I have a couple other things that I think we should kind of also incorporate into the March Madness thing, but we'll talk. Scoop,
Okay.
talk to me after. But yes, there will be
Conference tournaments start next week, or actually some of like the Sun Belt, whatever fucking conference that
yeah,
is.
it's,
That,
Mar- it's March 1st. It's March Madness. We're here.
We're here.
Every game now, even if it's not a tournament game, it has huge implications because it's a conference game.
damn, Kyle is going in saying don't join the March Madness pool because it's run by a guy who can't be trusted with the pot. Why? You know what this all stemmed from last night, Gooch? It's all about Westbrook and Harden over and over and over again. And then like Tony Parker joined the conversation. I came out and said John Starks is a GOAT just because I wanted to throw something in there. And I showed him the dunk picture over Jordan and Horace Grant. By the way, Horace Grant looks like a fool in that dunk, by the way. He's just like,
So it was over.
goggles
Oh,
are
you
all-
mean the dunk over Horace Grant?
No, dunk over Jordan. Jordan was involved in that. So yeah, John Starks, the GOAT. All right. What else we got, Tina? We have one more thing. Well, a couple more things to talk about. Now that there we go.
No, go. Yeah.
Whatever.
I'm clicking
Now
on it.
that-
There it is.
Now that the combine is going to be here within the next couple of days, starts Thursday night in prime time. They're going to do the quarterbacks, wideouts, and I believe tight ends. And then you'll see a lot of highlights on Friday if you don't watch in prime time. But this week, there's a lot of negotiating going on. I said that really weird. Negotiating.
Words are hard. I'm telling you.
Negotiating.
The good old
Negotiating.
negotiation.
Have you ever spelt a word over and over again until you
Until it
think it's
looks
not spelt
wrong.
right anymore?
No, I'm the spelling bee king.
That's right. I
So-
forgot you dominate that too. Okay.
No, but yes, there is some words that you just have to write. I like. Will
I write it
out.
down. I'm just like,
Yeah.
well, that doesn't look right. Right.
Mhm.
And who decided to put a B on dumb? That's what I want to know. Those people should be criminally charged because I feel like that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
I mean, dumb, thumb.
who put the B
There
on
is
All
dumb?
a
of these
B.
things
If
can
you're
be done
pronouncing it
without B.
properly, there is a B sound at the end of it.
Bullshit.
Dumb.
Yeah, they're dumb.
I'm just making an actual
It's a
point.
silent B.
It's like where you are in the country, you might hear the B or not, depending on how
Oh,
people
he's
talk.
dumb.
Be surprised, bro.
How about in Missouri?
surprised.
Missouri, they do it over there. Dumb.
No,
Numb?
we don't.
No.
In Missouri, we don't finish the end of a
They don't know
lot
how
of
to spell
words.
out in Missouri, so
Hey, okay.
bing. That was good.
Anyway, so there is business being conducted over in Indy, which, by the way, I do want to say that the combine has been in Indy forever. The draft, we found out earlier or yesterday, that the draft finals for 2024 is the beautiful cities of Detroit, Washington, and Green Bay. You couldn't come up with any better city than those. Like, you think, obviously, Gooch is like, Green Bay's great. What are you talking about? There's 3 things to do.
What do you think that they're trying to do here when it's not the Super Bowl, right?
Yes, but the draft has become one of the biggest attractions of all time with the NFL. It has.
It's not. And I'm going to explain what I'm saying. Like, it's very watched, but they're trying to give it to other cities so NFL cities could all enjoy hosting the draft. They're not like, when they have it at Radio City, they're not like, whoa, New York, let's fly in the masses. There's not 70,000 people attending the draft.
That's in an amphitheater, right? But if they did it 2 years ago, they did it in Nashville, and it was the party of the fucking year, bro. They did it in Dallas. It was amazing. They did it in Philly, and it was good, and I hate Philly.
Now, I'm just trying to understand, though,
there's nothing to do in Green Bay is what I'm saying.
No. Yeah, but if there's the draft in Green Bay, guess what? There'll be plenty of things to do. Now, do you think that people are like, oh, I can't wait to go to see the fucking Rent on Broadway because the draft is in New York?
I just said it's a different feel
Doing
because
other
New York is not flown in for.
I think that what you're going to see, if they do give it to Green Bay, which I think it's
that, if I'm going to choose one out of the 3,
it's going to probably be Green Bay at that point.
Fucking Detroit for the draft.
You know, the Commanders, I feel like Snyder might be in jail for rape by then. That might have been a little excessive by me.
I missed it.
But you know,
don't even
rape anybody. He's just a creep. But damn it, man.
It's okay.
Snyder guy.
Get it back. Snyder's a piece of shit. We all know that.
But yeah, the Packers and the draft, I think it's a better situation than it would be in Washington or Detroit. And I think it's a way better situation than I think you're giving it credit for. I don't think you need a major city to host a draft. You just need an NFL city and a convention center.
I think they've proven that you do need a major city to host a draft.
Why? Based on
what you brought to the city.
No,
is what I'm saying. There's nothing to do in Green Bay.
The only time. What are you talking about? How many times have you been to Green Bay?
How many times have you been to Green Bay? And tell me the most exaggerated.
When was the last time you had fun in New York besides going to either the Garden or?
How many times do I got to tell you? I'm not talking about New York.
Well, any other city. I've been to Philly.
If I went to Nashville, yeah, there's things to do. It's Music City. You go all the bars, all the walk.
Yeah, that's so crazy. They don't even have any bars in Green Bay.
Yeah, they do in Sheboygan.
You know, no, in Green Bay, like, and all the way. Dave, your voice cracked twice in as many hours.
Asshole, I'm still recovering from Sunday. Okay, I have the voice of an angel. All right, it's still not here yet. God damn it.
Yeah, the Nashville draft. The fuck is this? Lambeau Field or
did you see the draft?
Nashville?
Did you see the city? Did you see the amount of people that
No,
flocked
do you want to
there?
know why? Do you want to know why? The amount of people that flock there, come on, bro. Like, there's an NFL game in Green Bay every other fucking
I'm going to
week
lose my
throughout the
mind.
season.
Dina, go to the attendance of the Tennessee
The
draft.
point that I'm making is, what makes you think that they can't have that same attendance in Green Bay?
No, but here's what I'm saying to you, right? I'm saying this. I'm a draft guy. I like the draft. Right?
That must eliminate anybody else from being able to make a point about like how they should host.
See, you're not even letting me make the point, right? If you told me, which by the way, this year, the draft is in Las Vegas, I would be like, yo, sign me up. It's Vegas, right?
Okay.
Same thing. Nashville. If I wanted to go somewhere to a destination, I'd be like, yo, Nashville, that shit's popping right now. I'm going to Nashville for the what?
600,000.
600,000 people went to the
attended
draft.
the draft. Where do they have it?
They did it on like the street, the main drag.
In 2019, draft also broke the record for attendance with 600,000 fans took part in the draft event in Nashville.
I'll guarantee.
So you think that they sold 600,000 tickets to the
no
NFL
tickets
draft?
To the draft.
So you just
go.
So then, what's your point?
The point is, there's stuff to do at these major cities. Why would I want to go to Green Bay?
Why do you want to go to Green Bay for the draft, Dave? Am I wrong about that?
No, you go to the draft for everything around it, bro.
I disagree. I disagree. I just disagree. We missed a lot.
Coming in. There is animosity through Chop Sports. We should sit down and play Shoots and Ladders or something.
No.
All I'm saying is
slap box contest.
All,
slap boxing, not
here
slap
we go.
because I'll dominate.
Oh, here we go. Yep. I'm knocking me out and shit now. Now we're fighting. Now we're fighting.
Oh my
God.
Fuck you, Dave.
The cheese. Yeah, Chris Payne. That's what you go for, the cheese, the Green Bay. That's exactly
I've
why
been to
you go.
Lambeau. I've been to Green Bay
And
several
look,
times, and there is so many
here's
fun
the
things to
thing.
do. They have a zoo right outside on the outskirts of it.
Here's the thing,
I'm
right?
missing the jokes here.
It's a good joke.
Raise
But what
your
I'm saying
hand.
is, on my bucket list before I die, I would like to go see the Cowboys play Green Bay in Green Bay for the simple fact of Lambeau Field, right? Not so I can explore Green Bay. You go to the draft in a place like Tennessee or Dallas or Vegas or any of these bigger cities, you're like, I can do more shit than just go to the draft.
Okay, so
Vacation is what I'm saying.
like you're saying for like the fan, like you,
Yeah,
right?
I'm the only
But
one.
like my point is, like the NFL isn't making more money off of the NFL draft by having it in Nashville because 600,000 people are showing
Why do you
up.
think these
It's
cities-
actually probably an issue.
No,
like,
the
who the
cities
fuck
are
wants
trying to get the
600,000
draft
people to
there
show up there?
so they can promote the other shit going on around them.
Give
Give the stimulus to the city. Detroit sucks. Washington sucks. There's nothing to do in Green Bay. These three finals are a joke, is what I'm saying.
Dave, I don't think you're understanding what the whole point is. Like you're trying to give the stimulus to the city. So why wouldn't you pick NFL cities? Do you get what I'm saying? It's like you're going to eventually run out. They're trying to spread the wealth here. So you're saying because of the fan experience, they should have it somewhere like Nashville, Vegas every single time.
See.
Right. But the NFL stands no benefit from that because they're only selling tickets to the draft that they're making money on. So where it is irrelevant. Give the burn to every city. And that's my whole point. So it's like, you know, I guarantee you that if Green Bay has the draft, which we're probably going to see
There's
in
a
a couple years.
legendary comment right there, by the way, from Ashley. I kind of get what you mean, Dave. See, that's what I'm saying. That's the
All right,
casual
that's it.
is what I'm saying. Yeah, you gonna text her, break up. So what I would do is this. He's literally on the phone right now. Ashley, I'm so sorry. I've just ruined your life. But yeah. So anyway, some Stimmy OG coming in says somebody say stimulus. Yes, legendary comment. Oh my god. I also agree with baby. Okay, his name is Chris. I don't know if anybody knows that, but anyway.
Oh man, this goddamn draft better be in Green Bay so I can show you guys how great my city is.
Yeah.
She did say
Yeah.
true before that.
Yeah,
So
It is
she
a
was.
it's just gonna be great. I can't wait to go to fucking Bill's bar down the street when they close down the entire city for a fucking football game.
Dave's been to
So
Green Bay
much
a
shit to
total
go-
of 0 times. So
Yeah,
he
well,
knows exactly
you know what, dude?
he's
I seen
talking
the
about.
overhead shots. It doesn't look like it's fucking happening out there outside the
Oh
parking
God,
lot.
what did you see an overhead shot of? Please,
You're
spare
just
me.
jealous, bro.
Please
You guys, it's
spare me.
great.
Please
It's fucking
spare
Green
me.
Bay, bro. Green Bay sucks.
Please
Like,
spare
stop.
me.
See, I'd rather attend the draft in Vegas than Green Bay, but I'd also like to go to Green Bay. Yes, I would love to go to Green Bay. It's on my bucket list before I'm dead to see my team playing Green Bay.
You are officially fucking banned. So you are
How
not
am I
allowed
banned
to-
from what?
You just said Green Bay sucks less than a second ago. You are banned.
The city of Green Bay blows.
Guys, ban him.
Oh,
from Green
damn
Bay?
it. You don't have to go to the uppers. All right, they're sitting right here. Okay. He went to the studio audience.
Get rid of
The
this fucking
city
guy.
makes a financial offer to the NFL based on how much they'll make in tourism.
Yes. Why else would you want the goddamn thing?
I mean, like that must be true based on the 3 finalists. No, that's clearly not the case. It's not. They're clearly not basing it
what
off
is
of
the
who's
benefit, legitimate benefit for a city like Detroit to say, dear NFL, we want the draft, please. Why would the NFL say, oh, you know what? It's funny because Detroit's beautiful in May. Like, it's not. It's a shit city and there's crime and there's shootings and there's shit. You want to go to the Ford plant?
Bro, I was just in the city. There's garbage bags stacked to the second
I mean,
floor.
I don't know
of
how
every
many
fucking
times
building.
I have to
It's
tell
also
you
a shithole.
that it has nothing to do with New York.
So then why are you trying to say that like you're basing on Detroit's a shithole? It doesn't matter. There's an NFL team there. That's why they're applying to have the draft there. So they're fans. So you could have like the Green Bay Packers are on the clock and it's Lambeau Field there. That's what they're doing, Dave.
They're going to Detroit
That's
to go
it.
stand on the tracks at 8 Mile. Be rabbit. They're going to go to the shelter. That's
My
what they're
pit
gonna
stains
go.
grew immensely over this past fucking 5
I
minutes.
love it. Love it. Anyway, so
So-
we should probably talk about some of the stuff that's happening at the draft week or combine week, rather. One of them being something that you were a little, taken back by. Like, why isn't this headline news? Aaron Rodgers is sitting down with the Green Bay Packers. That should get done, you would think, right? I mean,
Yeah,
why
it's
else would
done.
he sit down? He's not going to sit down at the table and say, hey, trade me. That's not happening. So get that thought out of your head. It's either, hey, I'd like to play football this year. What can we do? Or, hey, I'm tired. I want to be with my fiance. I'm out.
Or it's, hey, look, I want to be the highest paid player ever.
I don't think that's a thing.
Exactly. That was a lie. I think what is really the conversation is at this point is figuring out the contract to make sure that they could also bring in Devontae and seeing, how they could defer some of the money. But what I'm reading about this deal is that it's not going to be a long-term deal, which you wouldn't want to give a guy like that the long-term deal. But I feel like when you have a less than a long-term deal in these situations, it becomes less flexible in terms of being able to manipulate the money in the front end of it. So maybe it's just not as high of a dollar amount as people are expecting if they're planning on bringing Devontae back. And I think that you might also see a little concession on Devontae Adams' side to make sure that they could get Randall Cobb his, you didn't see Cobb do anything yet. You haven't seen.
He hasn't really have a leg to stand on, to be honest with you.
No,
he's probably like, hey, man, pay me whatever. Like, I just want to play football.
But he does have a leg to stand on in the sense that, his contract is really
Nobody's
bad.
gonna be banging
He's
down
a
his
cap
door.
casualty, and the leg that he has to stand on is that you got Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams that are saying, like, let's see what you do at Randall Cobb first. I feel like that's an easy million for them to just keep Cobb around for maybe $1.5 million, but his contract right now is really bad. So that was that courtesy of the Texans signing him to that shit deal.
To restructure. According to Payne, he's going to finish his career as a Packer. That's it. All the nonsense for talking points. Who really thinks he's leaving or being traded? Bueller, right?
I could have shut
nobody in
down.
this office.
I could have shut that down months ago.
It's just news. It's just news that broke or whatever. Other player news. Stephen Jones. I mean, I know all you Cowboy fans out there actually give a shit what he says because he's I'm losing a lot of faith in this front office, and I think I have since there's a lot of crappy situations going on in Dallas right now because of the fact that they're so up against it in the cap situation. Amari Cooper might be on the way out. They asked Stephen Jones yesterday, is this, you want to talk about Cooper? He's like, it's too early to talk about Cooper. Like, why? He's under contract. Why even talk about him? Right? That just goes to show you that he might be the odd man out in Dallas. I do want to say that another quote from Stephen Jones yesterday is that they're riding with Zeke next year. Why? Why are they riding with Zeke, Gooch? Can you take one guess as to why Zeke is there in 2022?
Because he has a file on the Joneses that if it gets out there.
Outside of that, what else? What other reason?
Honestly, the contract is just there's nothing they could do
Correct.
with it.
And you know what? Stephen Jones actually said that.
And it actually
he said, his contract's guaranteed, so we're with Zeke.
Can I explain that all he did was highlight how bad that deal actually is with that statement? And because there's no way.
Buyer's remorse.
Yeah.
And I love Zeke. And
100%. It's just reality at this point.
I think running backs in general are such a interchangeable part. And we've seen it with Pollard and you've seen it with AJ Dillon. Like, let's call it how it is. If Jones decided to skip out and does a restructure, you might have some faith in AJ Dillon. And then what? And
Absolutely.
Then what? You'll have faith in the next guy.
Do you know what I have more faith in than anything? More so is the offensive line and the scheme. And right now, the Packers have a pretty good run blocking scheme and offensive line. So
yes, we can, Chris. The Jets have 2 top 10 picks, so that's a fun thing. So watch the combine as you botch the next 2 picks and the next 2 guys that you bring into New York to fail. No, I'm kidding. I'm actually optimistic. Once again, I hate this. I hate getting on this Jets hype train, but I do like Robert Saleh in his second year with a draft, and I do like free agency with a whole bunch of money to spend. The Jets can turn their whole franchise around within a couple days, but they just don't. They don't decide to do that. Is that upper man? Is that Woody Johnson? Is that all those guys over there?
It's not
doing
that,
their thing.
It's not that easy, but
they got a lot of money to spend and really good capital on the draft.
Yeah, good capital on the draft. This isn't the first time I've seen the Jets with some decent draft capital. Sam Darnold later.
Oh,
they're not fixed. They could have. Think about if Sam Darnold panned out, or let's think if it was Josh Allen instead. I know that doesn't really add
NFL.
Up,
well,
you get what I'm saying.
Yeah,
if you land that pick, if that pick lands and it's in 3 years,
what
now all of a sudden
land?
you have a elite quarterback, that changes everything.
You know what pick didn't land? Daniel Jones did not land, and I'm not here to bash the kid because again he's doing the best he can with what he's got around him. However, his coaching is stunk the entire time he's been there. And now the Giants officially yesterday have not picked up Daniel Jones' 5th-year option, or at least that's being reported. That's basically saying you got this year under Brian Daboll to do your thing or you're out.
I mean, I don't even think this is much of news because.
Well, here's my question.
Just given it's not that it's a different regime that drafted this guy. Yeah.
My question to you is, do the Giants spend any of their draft capital on a quarterback this year if it's there? Because of the fact that they declined.
From what I'm seeing is that there's a lot more
Is value
immediate
more
help.
deeper?
There's just no value at quarterback at all this year in the draft. They're saying that if Jordan Love was in this year's
about this
draft
Pickett
class,
kid?
he would be picked first
Can he
out of
pick
the
it?
quarterbacks. I don't know, man. Like I don't know enough about the college prospects right now, and everything that I've been seeing is that these quarterbacks just aren't making their way up into the top half of this draft. There might be one team that reaches, but based off of team need. But if you're looking at doing that, and you look at the projected quarterbacks coming out the year after, I think that you're in a better position to just kind of stopgap this season, because if you draft a middling quarterback with your first pick, is it really going to bring your team to the point of you picking in a different spot next year? You're still going to pick in a shit spot. Only now you're going to be like, well, we used this draft pick on a quarterback last year. I say you just kick the tires on a Mason Rudolph if you're Pittsburgh, more so than going out there and wasting a first round value on a Mason Rudolph with less experience, where probably isn't going to go out
That's
there
the
and beat
report
the guy
right now
out
in
anyway.
Pittsburgh is that Mason Rudolph's
I
the
say
guy.
that you see guys like Carson Wentz get released. You see quarterbacks that are
He might be on the move again.
and I don't think Carson Wentz is going to cost that much, even though there is some conversation about him being one of the top 10 quarterbacks this year.
Oh,
That's
did you see
Kyle's
that
word.
post from Kyle?
Yeah, I mean, I think that he had a better season than people are giving him credit for.
So did Kirk Cousins.
And so did Kirk Cousins, but top 10, that's a little ridiculous.
You have to factor
case.
in how their team did. I'm sorry. Stats all you want. I understand stats don't lie. Neither do wins. Wins don't lie.
Stats aside,
both of those quarterbacks weren't in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean,
So you're not a top 10 quarterback.
I
You're
think
not in the
Kirk
playoffs.
Cousins was a fringe top 10 guy this year. I don't think Carson Wentz was, though.
I should
but I
say
do-
that. I retract what I just said. I said if you're not in the playoffs, you're not a top 10 quarter. You're a top 10 quarterback if you're in the playoffs. Jimmy G is not a top 10 quarterback. He was in the playoffs. Ryan Tannehill was in the playoffs. He's not a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah, there's top 10. There's
maybe
guys
back
that
end.
I could name 20 top 10 20 quarterbacks that have won a Super Bowl that were not top 10 that season. So
All I'm saying is that's why I don't put too much stock into Wentz and Kirk Cousins, which Kirk Cousins could be on the move.
I think
don't
that the Steelers have
They're in the middle of the pack. I think.
they're like the pick 20.
no,
right
not
around
that
there.
deep, are they?
Yeah, because they were there. They were a playoff team. So
Were they?
yeah,
Oh yeah. So then technically
We've already
Nope.
forgotten about them.
they'll what?
So we've already forgotten.
Yeah, I know. We've so they're going to be in the probably the first pick of the playoff teams. So how many playoff teams are there? 12.
12,
So they'll probably be
14
32. They're
now.
about 19 or 20.
14.
All right, so they're going to be 22 or 23 or 21 or 22.
There's
I don't know.
14
Ken
play-
Ballman's in the
there's
damn
four-
chat. He should know.
There's 14 playoff teams.
Dak made the playoffs. Yeah, thanks. Dak is also a top 10 quarterback.
But also, let's just
Stop.
I just am gonna ruin that for you, and you're probably gonna be mad at me for this, and you're gonna be like, oh my god.
No, because anybody who says that
But
Dak Prescott's not a top 10 quarterback doesn't know.
But just based on what you said, they didn't make the playoffs 2 previous seasons, and you were still pretty much calling Dak a top 10 quarterback.
Well, Dak also set a record this year for the Cowboys. So it's not. Look at Dak's numbers this year. He blows the friggin' Wentz.
I would say
Cousins
honestly,
away.
based on this season, I'd have to really look at it, but I would say Dak is top 10, but he's might be 10.
He might be 10.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. I'll concede a 10. I don't know. I can't name the top 9 in front of him. But then again, remember,
I mean,
you're removing Brady. You're removing Brady. You're moving. Well, Roethlisberger wasn't there, but if Rodgers isn't there, which he will be, but if he wasn't, if I had to rattle them off right now, of the guys that are better than Dak Prescott, I would say Rodgers, who's currently still in the league, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen,
Lamar.
no,
He is though.
no, he's not. I'll die on that hill. Lamar Jackson is a glorified running back who can have a throw here and there where you're like, oh, that was a good throw. Like, he's not a top 10. He's not better than Dak Prescott. So I've named 3 guys that are better than Dak right now.
Let's just because we're gonna
What,
have
you
to
wanna
start
digress with
thinking-
this?
Yeah,
All right.
well, because obviously,
Yeah, I don't want to get worked up either.
we had a couple, blow ups on
Slap.
this one. So Peaky Blinders,
Chris Payne. Lamar is a top 5 running back. I agree. Oh, man. Brock Purdy, the next Drew Brees. Okay, more bold predictions coming out there. Watson, top 5 quarterback according to Scoop. Yeah, if he plays, that'd be great. He is a great quarterback. I consider him just an all-world talent, just not on the field. So
who?
Watson.
Oh,
Can't I'm not gonna say like, yeah, he's definitely top 5. He's not, because he's not playing. And Chris Payne, Watson is a top 5 sexual predator as well. He's multifaceted. Peaky Blinders is great. Last season coming out, R.I.P. Polly. See, if you're
Is that a
ruining
spoiler?
shit for me, I've never watched the show, and if I wanted to catch up, you're that guy.
I'm gonna say something, Scoop. That is, like you just went down a rung in my book.
That was
because
dirty.
not everybody has
Scoop has been
seen that
falling
show,
off the
and
It's on my list of shows I'm about
that
to
is a
start.
highly disrespectful comment by Scoop. What did Kyle say about Scoop earlier? Is there like
Can't be trusted.
Boycott that
Can't be
March
trusted.
Man.
Wait a minute. So wait. Oh, she died in real life, dick.
Oh.
Pour one out for Polly.
Sorry, Paul.
All right. Anyway, question for Dave. Oh, now what? There's a question for Dave. Is there a question for me that I missed? Or is he like kind of, he hasn't asked it yet, so now he's kind of revving me up here? Great. Okay. Question for Dave. Would you be against the Cowboys drafting Brock Purdy or another quarterback in the 4th or 5th round to at least pad the quarterback position? I am not against that, considering I know who the backup is, right? So if you want to draft a quarterback, and Dak Prescott right now is still under 30 years old, right? But his contract's going to run out. If you really think, and I'll be the first one to tell you this. If Dak Prescott doesn't win a Super Bowl within the contract, within the confines of his contract, then yes, you think about moving on. You do. And that's football. I love Dak Prescott. He's one of my favorite players of all time, honestly, truth be told. But if there's somebody sitting there in the 4th round and you think there's value in it, sure, go for it. Not against it. What happened now?
Guy, Heath Ledger died too. R.I.P. Joker.
Oh my
John
God.
Wayne also died.
R.I.P. Cowboy movies.
So Scoop, go fuck yourself if you're making.
Oh boy! All right. So with
But
that being said,
though, I would have never known who that actress was or that she died and that she was Polly until he said that. So now whoever that is,
Yeah, I'm pretty up on what's happening.
well, you also just said that was a disrespectful comment, so that means whoever Polly is died.
No, because I'm only fucking 2 episodes deep into this season.
Oh, so you might have been.
Oh, he was mad too.
So I was
that's
just like,
why-
dude, did you just?
That's why the vein popped.
fucking kill you.
Disrespectful.
Slap box the shit out of you.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, we're out of here. A good answer. Agreed. Kyle, we're actually usually on the same wavelength on a lot of things, except for your second contract with quarterbacks debate. But in any event, this has been another great loaded show. Hopefully today, they're meeting as we talk right now. So there's going to be an agreement at 12:04. That's what's going to happen. But anyway,
it's going to be the players are going to walk into the meeting and they're going to be like, fuck you. And then they're going to walk out. And that's going to be the meeting. And Bob
Just
Nightingale.
Kenny Powers Anyway, Bob Nightingale, you're the MVP, bro. Congratulations for getting your name back. So in any event, for Sturch and Gooch, thank you again to Dina for producing, coming up with some quick, rapido answers. See, I told you that helps. It helps. But yeah, so definitely please like the video if you're seeing this right now. Please subscribe to the network, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to all that stuff. Help Chop Sports grow. Me and Gooch got ourselves a busy day today. So with that, we will see you guys tomorrow.
Dave, do yourself a favor and rewrite your bucket list because you're fucking banned. So you're not coming.
I'm not.